In this video, I'm going to explain how you can use the wizards, specifically the Conduit Wizard in Red Rhino estimating software, to speed up the process of estimating. Now, I'm going to show an example specifically of the Conduit Wizard, but over here you'll see on the left-hand side where I've opened the catalog for wizards. We have several different ones in here, where there's a fire alarm wizard, automatic transfer switch wizard, breaker wizard, bus duct wizard, lots of different ones. Device wizard, disconnect wizard, I'm just naming a few here, okay? You can see them on the left-hand side. I'm going to open Conduit Wizard. Now, let me set precedence by explaining that I've logged into Red Rhino and done some setup for this, okay? I'm going to explain it further. Next, I'll go to the drawing and show you what's going on there. This is an electrical blueprint of a commercial project. Let me blow it up here a little bit and move it over. And so the blueprint drawing itself is in black and white. But this is an example of how I've taken off, I've done a material takeoff for conduit, okay? The different colors of lines that you see on here are different types and sizes, or different sizes of conduit with different numbers of wire in them, okay? So this is a basis of estimating. First, you make a list of materials and from the blueprints, and then you input the materials into Red Rhino software. Now again, this is for diagram purposes only or explanation purposes only, but in this example, I'm going to imagine that I've taken off some conduit runs. Now next what I'll do is I'll show the material takeoff sheet that it goes on. Now this is an example of a material takeoff form. Let me blow it up here. This is an example of a material takeoff form where I've actually written the size and type of conduit to be input into Red Rhino software. Okay, so you make a list from the materials, you measure the conduit and input the number of runs. Let me explain. Right here on the top entry here, you see that there's 3/4 inch EMT with 7 number 12s of THHN, and there's 33 runs, and the total quantity is 2,170 feet. Now, I'm not going to enter all this conduit into the Red Rhino using the Conduit Wizard. This is for purposes of me showing you how it works. I'm going to enter the first two entries here. One is a branch conduit with 3/4, and the other one you'll see is 2-inch EMT with 4 3/0 and 1 number 6 ground. Now, in this case, I wrote down there's one run, R equals 1 means runs equals 1. And it requires 3 90-degree elbows, okay, and there's a total of 180 feet. Okay, so I'm going through this pretty quick, but first I'm going to enter the 2,170 feet in Red Rhino using the Conduit Wizard. I'll show you how fast this works. So back to Red Rhino software, I'm going to click on the little arrow to the right of the Conduit Wizard, and you'll see a pop-up here. Now again, I'm not going to explain everything in detail here so much as instruction, or my purpose isn't to instruct you how to use this, but show you the feature as it works. So I'm going to start at the top and I click the drop down, and these are the different types of conduit that the Conduit Wizard has in it. It has PVC, EMT, rigid, MC cable, that ENT Smurf tube, seal tight. It has GRC coated PVC, and then some other types of conduit. Now I won't get into all of them now, but I'm going to select EMT, and then I'm going to select the fittings. In this case, I'm going to say set screw steel. I go over to the right and I set the conduit size. I'm going to set it at 3/4 inch. And then what I do, this is something that's kind of magical about the Conduit Wizard. You can select the conduit application and it will add more labor for higher levels of difficulty. Typically, the higher the conduit is off the floor, the longer it takes to install. And so we have normal, +10, and +20 feet. And normal has the least amount of labor, +10 has more labor, and +20, meaning the conduit's above 20 feet off the floor, has the most labor. I'm going to select expose +10. Conduit's above 10 feet off the floor. Now I simply go in here and put in the total footage. In this case, it was 2,170 feet. And the number of runs I counted as I measured the conduit, there's a total of 33 runs. Now, why does it ask how many runs there are? Because it's going to spit out or it's going to display or show 2 connectors for every run of conduit. Now, in this case, I click the wire drop down. It's already set for 12 stranded, and that's what I'm going to input here. But let me just open this and show it to you. At the very top, it has 12 stranded. I hope you can see this. It has thermostat wire below that, a bunch of fire alarm cable below that. Let me scroll down here. See how it has copper wire for 16, 14, 10? We have wires clear up to 750 copper, 750 MC copper. And then below that we have high voltage cable and bare copper for doing ground wire, grounding, and also aluminum at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to go back here and select number 12 stranded. And I said that there were 7 number 12s in this conduit run. Now I won't get into it any deeper than that. I'm just going to click the add button. And when I do, I'll close this window and I'll just save my work here. Now real quick, I just want to show you. See how the program throws out, or displays I should say, 2,170 feet of EMT, couplings, connectors, supports, and total footage of wire needed. See that? So it does display the price, the total price, the labor to install each line item, plus the extended labor, how many hours it takes to install all the conduit, okay? We call those extensions, okay? So real quick, I showed you how the conduit wizard works for branch there. Now I'm going to show you an example of how it works for feeder conduit. Now back to my example takeoff sheet here. Notice that I have 180 feet of 2-inch EMT with 4 3/0 and 1 number 6 ground, okay? There's 1 run and 3 90-degree bends. Now we'll go to the conduit wizard and input that. Okay, now I've gone ahead and set up the conduit wizard for the 2-inch run. You know, it took me 15 or 20 seconds probably to set this up, but I set it up for EMT 2-inch at the top here, and then moving down through here, just real quick, notice that I input 180 feet, 1 run, and I set it up for 4 3/0 and 1 number 6 ground. Now I want to explain something just a little bit more about the conduit wizard that really makes this fast. This little box right here is labeled wire makeup feet, or lengths I should say, wire makeup length in feet. Here's the cool thing about Red Rhino. You go and input a quantity or the footage that you want the program to add of the conduit coming, or I'm sorry, let me say it this way. You add the footage of wire that you want coming out of the end of the conduit, okay? Enough wire to go to the termination point, and it'll add those wires for you. Pretty slick, pretty fast. Now in this case, again, I put in 3 elbows, and it's got the conduit support set at 8 foot apart. That's the default. Now I just click the add button to populate it again to my takeoff sheet, save my work. And here we see where Red Rhino shows the conduit, couplings, connectors, supports, the elbows that I added, 390s. It shows 784 feet of 3/0 copper, 196 feet of number 6 ground wire. Okay, so again, this is how you can use Red Rhino conduit wizard to really speed up the estimating process. Now, it doesn't matter what type of conduit you use it for. You can use it for any type conduit. Now, something else I just want to highlight real quick. One thing that our customers love about Red Rhino software is we have these video clips that you can watch for training. I'm just going to open this for you so you can see it here. We have videos that you can watch. Now, Red Rhino is an online software program. You can log in anytime, okay? It's online, and we have the training videos available to you anytime, so you can learn at your own speed. This is the main thing to learn it. We hear feedback from our customers that these videos really help them to get through the learning process, okay? Then it also includes one-on-one training with us, okay? So I hope that helps you to understand the conduit wizard and how fast you can input conduit. If you don't have a conduit wizard or you're not using estimating software, it can just be torture to estimate conduit runs. Hope that helped.